Time to talk to our baseball insider, Steve Phillips, about this Manoah situation. He allows 6 earned runs over just 4 innings of work. Steve, when I heard they were calling him up, in my mind, I thought, this seems premature. He doesn't seem ready to come up yet, and yet there he was, and the evidence was pretty clear on Sunday. Is there anything that you saw, Steve, that made you think that Manoah has a chance to make a legitimate comeback to the bigs?
You know, his last start at AAA was terrific. Struck out 12, pitched against Paul Skeens, the big Pirates prospect, the first player taken in the draft last year, and Manoah matched him pitch for pitch. In the game on Sunday, he was not as effective. Early on, 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, but then he started missing his spots, and I did see some improvement with his delivery. A year ago, he threw across his body. He would crossfire, where he would stride to the plate toward the third base dugout and then have to crossfire. And when he missed his pitches, missed the strike zone, he missed up and into the right-handers. In the game on Sunday, he was able to extend, get to the outside corner with pitches early, but when he made mistakes, the ball would tail back in over the plate. He'd hang his slider, just spinning it in over the plate, and hitters took advantage of it. And look, in the major leagues, if you don't throw it over the plate to try to get guys out early in the account, they're going to take it and force you to throw them strikes, and they take advantage of it. Gave up a couple home runs. He ended up walking 4 batters, hit a batter, and got a little bit erratic. But there was some overall delivery improvement, but he can't nibble. You've got to attack hitters, and it looked like he was trying to be too fine in this game. So sure, there's some progress from a year ago, but it's not good enough.
Speaking of not good enough, Steve, this Blue Jays team has now lost 9 of their last 12. Where's your level of panic compared to, say, the fan base, where the level of panic is sky high right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty concerned. I mean, listen, you can't win a division in May and April and early May, but you can lose one. And look, last place, 7.5 games out. The offense is really the big issue with this team. The pitching will be better if they get some margin for error. If they could score some runs, get him a 3-run lead, then the pitchers can start to attack hitters. Now, Manoah didn't do that today, but the other more veteran pitchers in this rotation can do that, where you can give up a solo home run and you're going to be okay as long as you attack the zone and you don't walk anybody. But now, when they're not getting any offense, they're trying to be perfect. When you try to be perfect and miss bats, you end up finding the bats and made to pay a price. So the offense is the key. Bichette and Guerrero are the 2 guys. The team is built around those 2. Sure, Springer's an important player, and Varsho's an important player, Kirk's an important player, and Jansen. But the bottom line is, this comes down to Bichette and Guerrero getting it done. And Bo Bichette doesn't look anything like the hitter that we know. He's typically almost leading the league in hits. He's struggling, a sub-600 OPS right now. Vladdy hit the grand slam on Sunday, but he hasn't been himself. If they get going, everybody else will start to roll, and it'll be good. The question is, will it be good enough?
And my next question for you, Steve, is if this continues in terms of the losses, I mean, it's still early, as you pointed out, but they're dead last in the AL East. Maybe there's a managerial change, but could they take it even further? Could ownership say, we need to clean out this entire front office? Could you see something like that happening in the middle of the season, Steve?
So here's the thing. I think, right, at some point the conversations behind the scenes start to happen, talking about, do we make changes with coaches? Do we make changes with the manager? That's inevitably some part of the conversation. Doesn't mean they're going to make those changes. But then if they keep losing and you get to the trade deadline, you have to consider the short-term and long-term for the organization. Beyond this season, you got 1 year left for Bichette and Guerrero. Where do they fit for the long-term future of the franchise? Are you going to continue to go for it for next year? Are you going to sign them to long-term extensions? And they would have to consider potentially trading away some players, some veteran players. Are they going to do a rebuild? Are they going to retool or reconfigure? I don't think they're at a point where they need to retool. They need to add to what I think could be a really good core of a team. They needed another big bat, at least one more big bat. They didn't get that player in the offseason. They settled for always somebody less. So the potential still exists for this core to be good, but not with just these players on the roster. They need more, so I would rather buy than sell if I'm the Blue Jays.
And things do not get any easier for this Blue Jays team. The Phillies are red hot, and they face the Phillies for 2 games starting Tuesday. This is our baseball insider, Steve Phillips.